Well, Dr. Dave here with you again. I've remembered a couple of more things about the Zodiac killer as pertains to the following photo that the press is claiming is a picture of the Anglin brothers, who reportedly own a farm in Brazil. I've told you before that's a hoax. One of the things that I remembered was about this poor girl they found her hanging by her neck in a park. She was evidently strung up where she had to stand on her tiptoes until her feet wore out, and then she hung herself. Now, that's not something one person can do. It takes 2 or 3 killers to do that. Holding up a body, somebody's got to hold her, somebody's got to tie her up, somebody's got to lift her, somebody's got to throw the rope over the tree limb. I mean, come on, think about it. This is one of the murders that lends to the stories that I've been telling you about Frank Morris and the Anglin brothers being the Zodiac killers. Now, I want to show you that picture and kind of explain it to you here. So go ahead and take a look at this video. This is the picture that I found that seems to have a little more detail in it. Here you can see the Dan Cooper jump with the parachute over top of him and the strings kind of holding it on. I also want you to notice that there are areas all over this Brazil picture where things are blurry, like this parachute of Dan Cooper's, and then you look right underneath it and the picture of him is very clear. And you look at surrounding areas and they're very clear also. All of those smudges were added in later. That didn't come from, I mean, have you ever taken a picture and part of it's in focus and part of it's not, and then another part's in focus and then another part's not? It's not possible. You can't do that with a camera. That comes from a photo that was retouched. In this picture you lose this face that's here, but these guys come out a little clearer. You can see a guy standing there with his arm over something here, and there's a guy behind him with also like a bag in his hand, and they both got their right hand sticking up in the air. And I remember what Frank told me about that now. He told me that that represented their escape from Alcatraz, because he said that they were so close to the guards that they could almost touch them, and they couldn't believe that the guards never saw them. And that appears on the Pines card, which I'm gonna show you here and see if I can pick out the area where it's at, and hopefully you can see it. Now this is the Pines card, and this is what Frank told me was a picture of him and the guys escaping from Alcatraz, and that this right here is how close they were to the guards. Now look at him here, you'll see that hand sticking up the same way that it's sticking up in that Brazil picture that I showed you. It almost looks like that little picture right there was traced out and recreated on that Brazil picture. And I remember something else that Frank told me. I told him, what was all this stuff back here? And he asked me, what did it look like? I said, I don't know, it looks like a bunch of people laying around there. And he goes, yeah, like bodies, because that's what we leave wherever we go. Kind of bizarre, Frank. I think he told me something about that too, but I don't remember what it was. Maybe that'll come back to me. This little line right here, I think, is a picture of Frank Morris, like the following picture that I'm going to show you from some police files. And I recall Frank telling me that that represented him from some old pictures that they had taken of him. I still haven't remembered what he told me about these figures that look like giraffe. But one of the main things that I wanted to bring your attention to today, which is really kind of bizarre, but that is this girl right here. You look closely, and I'm going to tell you what Frank told me about that. He said, what do you see? And I said, I don't know, it looks like a girl standing there kind of weird, like on her tiptoes. He goes, yeah, that's good, she's on her tiptoes. And then he asked me, what do you see about her hands? And I go, oh, she's holding them up like, he goes, like what? And I go, like she's praying or something. He goes, yeah, she's praying. And you know, he asked me could I tell it was a girl? And I said, well, it's a figure of a girl, and kind of you can see the back end here and the long legs. And he goes, yeah, that's true. And he goes, what do you see about her up here above where her head's at? And I go, well, I see this kind of like a rope or something. I actually thought it was her hair at the time that was tied to something. And he said, no, it's a rope. It's a rope. And I believe he even told me the rope was around her neck. And I told him I couldn't see that. And he started getting graphic about it, so I changed the subject. Well, there's an article, I read it here a couple months ago, and I've been trying to find it, but I haven't been able to, about a suspected Zodiac killer victim where they hung a girl by her neck. They pulled her rope up just enough so that she was standing on her tiptoes, I guess to torture her, so that she'd stand there until her feet gave out and then she would hang herself. When they found the body, the feet were all eaten up by ants and insects and things. You know, Frank seemed really proud about the little picture of that girl right there. You go to the internet and look at this, you're going to really be able to tell that there's a girl there. In this picture, these numbers are a lot more visible. This is a 3, this is a 3. That proverbial question mark, and right there is a tiny little Zodiac killer mask. Other things that I forgot to tell you was, look in this road behind these guys. See that blue? Doesn't that look like water? Because I remember Frank telling me that that's what it represented. And now what I'm thinking is that it has to do with the fact that he usually killed people near water. I mean, this guy's giving you so many clues to so many different things about who he is and what he was up to and everything, and no one has ever figured it out. And he said no one ever would. I mean, he told me and I didn't figure it out. I've spent a year now working on this, putting the pieces to this puzzle together and remembering the things that Frank told me in Mexico City back in 1970, 71, 72, and on through the years, and I'm just now figuring it out. Well, I hope this video helps you to understand better what this Brazil picture is all about. It's just another one of Frank Morris's hoaxes and one of his ways of telling the world, hey, look at me. I'm right here and you can't see me. What a terrible way to do it through the death of all these people. And trolls, I would like you to please keep your rude comments to yourself on this video, because I honestly believe that the reason he showed me the part about hanging the girl was because he was trying to tell me that if I was nice to him when they got around to killing me, they would make it happen fast. But people that he didn't like had to suffer. Thank you very much for watching. I have remembered a whole lot more things. I'm working on more videos for you. Any positive comments I would really appreciate, and would appreciate a lot more subscribers so that I can keep doing this. It takes up a lot of valuable time to produce these videos. I haven't worked on my book in months. I hate writing anyway, so I keep making videos. Really appreciate it if you could give me the thumbs up on this video and on all of my videos. That also really helps out for me to keep producing more videos. Thank you very much.